When caring for a loved one with dementia, do you ever find yourself looking for clues to the person that they used to be? Well, Dr. Cameron Camp says your investigative skills could be put to another and possibly more helpful use in his book, Hiding the Stranger in the Mirror. He gives examples and advice on solving the mysteries of challenging behaviors of those with Alzheimer's. Dr. Camp is also the Director of Research and Development at the Center for Applied Research in Dementia in Solon. Thanks for joining us today.
Pleasure.
So helping care for someone with dementia, it can be very stressful, but you say part of that stress comes from approaching the situation incorrectly. What do you mean by that?
Many times people look at a problematic behavior and they say, this is what dementia is. We advocate asking this question, why is this happening? And the answer cannot be because they have dementia. It's a circular argument. Why is this happening? Because they have dementia. How do I know they have dementia? Because this is happening. It doesn't deal with the cause, only the symptoms. So we tell people, ask, why is this happening?
So explain a little bit more. Give me an example asking why this is happening. How do we do that?
It's important to think about the person with dementia and to begin, for instance, by asking the person, for example, why this is happening. So there's a woman in a nursing home, and every afternoon she would yell out for her daughter, Jamie, Jamie, where are ya? So staff finally went into her room and asked this question, why do you yell for Jamie? She says, darling, I don't know anybody here, but if I yell Jamie, someone always comes.
So sometimes what's going on is not what it might seem to be, look like.
Exactly. We stress this is a person with dementia, and this is a person who's a normal person who may have memory deficits, but we have to look at why it's happening.
So the subtitle of your book is A Detective's Manual for Solving Problems Associated with Alzheimer's Disease and Related Disorders. How do we crack the case? What do we do as a detective?
We ask the questions that a good detective or a good reporter would ask. Who, what, where, why. So for example, who is this person? What was their background? That can give us some good information. When is this happening? What time of day? Where is this happening? If we begin to ask those questions, we begin to get a clear picture as to why something might be happening.
All right, so you ask these questions, you get some information. Where do you go from there? How do you solve the case?
We look for the usual suspects, and we use a formula. The first thing we look for is there a physical cause? So is there undiagnosed pain? Is there an infection? Is there glasses that need to be worn but they're not being worn, or a hearing aid that needs a battery that's run down? There was a guy in a day center, for example, and after lunch he would get very agitated and almost paranoid. Turns out that he had diabetes. It hadn't been diagnosed, and his blood pressure, blood sugar would go out of whack in the afternoon. When they treated that, the problems went away.
So sometimes it might be things unrelated to Alzheimer's or dementia.
Yes, sometimes the intervention involves training staff or training family members. For example, in the social environment, teaching people how to ask the right question, like giving choices. Would you like this or that, as opposed to open-ended questions? Or the physical environment, putting up a beware of dog sign on the back fence will often keep someone from hopping into the neighbor's yard. You can also teach people with dementia how to learn new things, like to go to the bulletin board or to the refrigerator to look at the answers to the question they keep asking.
It's a complicated situation, but your book is very helpful, and I appreciate your coming in to talk with us about it.
It's my pleasure.
So Alzheimer's is challenging, no question, but by using Dr. Camp's suggestions, you can crack the communication code and better understand those mysterious behaviors. To find out more, track down his book, Hiding the Stranger in the Mirror, or use the information that's coming up next.
For more information, call the Center for Applied Research in Dementia at 440-829-4927 or visit their website, www.cen4ard.com. Next, Cleveland, the good, the bad, and all the jests.